Hello guys, welcome to NXPTO new video, and in this video I'm gonna give an update on price of Bitcoin. And as we can see, Bitcoin is still consolidating above the top of our dark blue channel, able to maintain support at the top of the channel, protecting our 23,000 level, and having the prospect to try and break the 29,000 level in the near future. One important thing that we like to highlight today is that we have a potential trend line that is that was or is suppressing the price of Bitcoin to the downside, while it consolidating in this range. You can see that yesterday we broke this potential trend line to the upside, and today's candle is closed now above it. This is a good sign, as we can see that the same pattern could be seen exactly when Bitcoin broke this consolidation zone and retested our 29,000 level. So we think this could be a sign that Bitcoin wants to make a move, potentially with this closing potential to the upside, or at least to retest our 29,000 level again. Whether it's going to break it to the upside or whether it's going to get rejected again and come to the downside, we don't know yet. But this is important to mention. We have this potential trend line. We have this potential trend line suppressing the price, and we are now breaking this trend line the same way we did for this consolidation period. So I would like to now move to the weekly chart, where we want to look at the bigger picture and see what is going on the bigger picture. We know that this week, of course, is trying to break this trend line as well. As the day chart develop, this will give this weekly candle an opportunity by the end of the week to close above this trend line and build a momentum to the upside, help Bitcoin build a momentum to the upside. We would like to now add the DXY, and something really important that is happening at the moment is that, like we mentioned in our previous video, we were expecting this transition from green to gray and to gray to green again. So basically meaning that we are expecting the DXY to continue to gain strength, but this is not likely to affect the price of Bitcoin. This is just a part of the process, where if we go back, like we mentioned in our previous video, if we go back, we can see we were mentioned that Bitcoin is now mimicking this pattern. So this pattern is mimicking this pattern. So far we have broken this downward trend line to the upside the same way, and the funny thing is that we are already turning to green. So on the weekly time frame, the DXY is already turning green on the super gap indicator. As you can see, it's just begun the past week with turning from gray to green again, as the DXY is finding support above this Fibonacci level. So meaning we mentioned that Bitcoin could, DXY could come to double top or find resistance around this area, around this zone. So basically we were expecting it to come and do the double top at this zone. We were projecting to be here. It could be earlier, but this is something that we have to follow and see how it develops. But we now see that the super gap indicator is already flashing red, so we are approaching, basically the DXY is basically approaching the same levels, or resembling this pattern where the DXY became green on the super gap indicator and came to find resistance on this Fibonacci level, which is 1.414 at around 103. So this is where the DXY found resistance last time, after broken this measure of resistance, and then it got rejected at the 1.4 Fibonacci extension. What we can see at the moment is that after the DXY broke this found resistance at this level, is when the bull market acceleration started, and the second time he found resistance is actually the same level at 103, which was again the Fibonacci 1.4. We saw market acceleration. What we can notice is that the third time the DXY approached this level again, and broke it to the upside, which is 103, the Fibonacci 1.4 extension. We basically confirmed the bear market. We just confirmed the market from the bottom, basically. So the bottom of the Bitcoin bear market was confirmed when the DXY reached the 2.618 Fibonacci extension. So this is what the area that the DXY topped, and Bitcoin found the bottom, and by the moment it got rejected, it just came to actually retest its previous resistance that now became support, of course. And this is the Fibonacci 1, around 99.7. That's why Bitcoin was able to, DXY was able to bounce at this level, as it was a serious resistance on the previous cycle, in this case into 2016 bull market. So having the DXY going to green again, you can resemble this area. We expect the DXY to continue to grow in this case, and potentially find the resistance around the same zone. It could be around 108, 111, 113 in this case. So we have a range between 108 to 113 for the DXY to reverse to the downside again. So it could happen earlier, but we think that this is a previous resistance. So as we approach this previous resistance, DXY is likely to revert to the downside, and at that point we would have a massive green signal on the DXY, the same way it did on this occasion. And as the Bitcoin is still, as you can see, Bitcoin is still holding the top of our channel and now breaking this potential trend line to the upside. And if we go back and bring the arc that we mentioned on our previous video, we can see that Bitcoin is on its way to continue the bull market, although many people believe that we are not in a bull market at the moment. But if you go and watch our previous video, we explained this, our idea behind this in more detail. So we are expecting Bitcoin to continue to consolidate. Could come and retest this zone multiple times, as long as it doesn't lose the 23,000 level, and respect this arc and continue to consolidate, or pushing higher and having to come back again. At least we know that we must respect this level. This level must be respected, whether up, down a little bit, protecting the 23,000 level, and then continue to the upside. This is the scenario that we are expecting for Bitcoin. And having this confirmation on the super gap indicator is very important. And one thing that we need to keep an eye on is for DXY to continue to grow. And we know that as we mentioned, we are expecting the DXY to find rejection around 108 to 113, as it was previous resistance for DXY. So it's what could resemble a double top on DXY, the same way it did for the same way it did in 2015-16 bull market. So double top, two green areas, and then rejection, while Bitcoin actually continued to put higher highs, meaning a bullish pattern and bull market acceleration. So for this chart, this is what we wanted to show you. We want to look at the Bitcoin ratio. In this case, our Bitcoin ratio is behaving normally. We mentioned last time we updated on this chart, we say that this pattern is more in line this pattern is more in line with this pattern, and that's why we give it a red circle, because during 2016 we had bull market, we had this green cycle where we are considering to be a more clean move to the upside without having to touch the 50-day moving average. You touch it, but it just got rejected or bounced from that level, and the bull market was much more smooth. We can see last video we mentioned, last update on this chart, we said that we would be stuck below the 50-day moving average. We are still in the same position. We're still stuck in between the 50 and the 200-day moving average, the same way assembly what happened in 2019, in this case 1920. So, but the good thing is that we can see that the RSI is now trying to break the 50 level to the downside, which is good, which would signal that the price, that the ratio wants to make a move, at least to retest the 50-day moving average again. For that reason, we can see that the RSI is trying to come out of this bearish position, making an attempt to break this level to the downside, which would be good for the ratio to come and break the 50, and we would see Bitcoin above or next to our 29,000 level potentially. You can see the dominance is still below the 50, and the 200 week moving average is fast approaching and continue to apply some pressure. We don't know if the dominance is able to break it to the upside, or if it's going to break this trend line. Of course, we could expect Bitcoin to lose some dominance and give it to altcoins, in this case. Not all of them, but some of them. But we can see that the 50 is fast approaching. The 200-day and 200-week moving average is fast approaching and putting some pressure on the Bitcoin dominance, while the dominance is basically lying on top of this trend line, waiting for confirmation to the break to the upside or to the downside, which, if it breaks to the downside, would be good for the altcoins. And we can also look at the DXY more clearly on this chart that I mentioned. I gave you an update in one of our videos. We can see that DXY came last time we had this, we had a little bounce. It wasn't this hard, but we say that DXY coming to retest this previous resistance with potential support. This is where the DXY was able to bounce, and we were looking at the DXY RSI, that the RSI was breaking this 50 level, which was likely, if breaking this 50 level and this downward trend line again to the upside, could give the DXY strength to continue to the upside. So this is what happened, and you can see that last time that the RSI broke the 50 level to the upside and this downward trend line, the DXY went on a massive move to the upside. So this is why I think that DXY could come the same level, 108, or if it breaks the 108 to the upside, we can expect at least a double top of rejection from this resistant line to the downside. This is the scenario that we are expecting to see Bitcoin continue to on the bull market, although the DXY is likely to continue to gain strength. That's it for today, guys. That's it for today. This is the update for today. And what we need to pay attention to is that the super gap indicator is turning green, is following, is coming faster than this move, because it took a couple of weeks for it to turn green on this occasion. But we know that after breaking this trend line to the upside, the DXY is already becoming green. So potentially signaling that the DXY is gaining strength quickly and could be double topping or getting rejected around those Fibonacci line that we already mentioned. And we expect by this time that the Bitcoin can make a move to the upside. It could do reach our next Fibonacci levels. It could go to 39,000 level, 36,000 level, or even going to retest our 50 level and come back to the downside. We don't know. But the most important thing to consider is that we are very close to the bottom of the arc, and we have a lot of space at the top of the arc. So meaning last time we mentioned that this could be a very good zone of accumulation, as we are really far away from the top of this arc. We are far away from our next Fibonacci level. We are more close to where the potential bottom is, and we can see the confluence between our 29,000 level and the bottom of the arc. This is a very good area of accumulation, and this is what we want you guys to understand, or to at least to try to be aware of. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video. Cheers.